Wow. It's it's Friday, July 2nd. It is 9 p.m. 7 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. on that coast that's got sun but lots of smog. And we are and
Well,
CNC Sci-Fi Grill is back. But why we calling
Time out
timeout
already.
already? We ain't even started.
I'm gonna let you know right now. Right now, somebody need to
Lord
get me a boat and some supplies because we done flooded all week. I saw a little Chihuahua going down the road looking for his mama because he was floating by on a piece of wood. It's bad.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all
Yeah.
went from like heat stroke to the first flood.
We went from heat stroke
To Noah's Ark.
to needing
Literally.
Noah.
Crazy, wild. That's insane.
All right. Well, CNC Sci-Fi Grill is back after a week hiatus because someone had to go to Chicago and
Chicago.
and hang out with his other family.
I had lots of pizza. It was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. But we are back, and we are here to discuss Loki, episode 3 and 4. And Christina's already smiling. We haven't even started yet because Loki's her stuff. That's her gig, her man. She was waiting for this show, and I'm hoping that after episode 4, it has given her more. Now, before we start going into the show, I want to dive into a post I put up on Facebook yesterday, which I don't know if y'all saw, where I told everybody to look at the make sure you stay for the post because there's a post credits. And this seems to be a theme going with Marvel with their TV shows where you get to the episode 4 and then all of a sudden you start getting post credits. Whereas the first 3, you're sitting there looking like Boo Boo the Fool, sitting there going, is there anything going on? So, and in that, one of my oldest friends, I've known him longer than I've known Jamal, me and him went to grammar school together with Jamal, and we were in the Boy Scouts together with Jamal. I met Jamal in the Boy Scouts, but Chris I knew before the Boy Scouts. But and plus he's like 5 days removed from my birthday, so we're both Cancer. So we were at odds because he does not like the MCU. He's a comic book head. He does not like the MCU, and to my take on this whole thing and the MCU has been that you cannot translate almost 60 to 70 years of comic books properly into another medium. There's no way you're going to be able to get everything and make everybody happy.
It's difficult to translate a book into a new medium.
Harry Potter, how hard was it?
How much did they leave out from Harry Potter?
Yeah. Like nobody ever knew that Rita was actually a spy, and that's how she was getting all the information she was and what she was doing to Potter. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The Peeves wasn't in there.
No.
Like, there's so much that is left out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like 10 years of material?
Mm-hmm.
You can only put so much into such a certain span of time before it gets too convoluted and you lose people.
And think about how much Fox messed up with X-Men. Sony messed up with Fantastic Four.
With the new movies.
Yeah. And so how much Sony messed up Fantastic Four? Not once, not twice, but 3 times. 3 times they got it wrong. They said, we're going to come back with this new young crew. And everybody's like, it might be okay. Horrible trash.
We're going to do the same thing again, but a different young crew.
And they had it okay with Spider-Man, with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
And then they were okay with Andrew, but then it was weaning off. It was like it wasn't going anywhere. And it wasn't until Marvel said, look, we'll help you out if you let us use him for Avengers. And once it's become part of the MCU with their sharing deal, it's taken on a whole new place. If Fox had did that with X-Men, which they probably never would have, it might have been a whole totally different, thing. But I don't know. To me, it makes it what they've done with the MCU. It makes it more mainstream than what it was. I understand my comic book nerd brothers want it to be just like the comic books, but you cannot translate that to film.
There's also so many different iterations of the comic books too.
Yes.
There's so many different realities that you could go with.
Yep. Jean Grey, I don't even know how many times Jean Grey has died. Or how many times a character has died and come back. It's astronomical how many times they've done that. But and what Nate is your take on that? Because you got it. To me, it's almost like the Star Wars purist that got mad. He's also mad at the sequels. I'm not that mad at the sequels. To me, they were okay. There was some stuff that they really messed up, which is making her a Palpatine was just stupid. But even J.J. Abrams came out and said, I messed up. I should have had a plan, and I didn't. But you didn't know he said that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said that.
He didn't have a plan?
No.
He cast a check, but he didn't have a plan.
It's the same thing he did with Star Trek. He did that one movie, but the difference is he stayed on for Star Trek, and it kept getting a little bit better. The Khan one was kind of stupid, but it did get better. Star Trek Beyond was loads better than the Khan one, to me anyway. I don't know about you, Nate. I know Christina doesn't watch Star Trek. You don't think it was better than Khan?
Not much.
Okay. Was it better than the Next Generation movies?
Yes.
So when you change directors and you change writers, you get what you have with the sequels. When you have a person that's totally in control and doesn't want anybody's input, you get the prequels. Because the Stardust is not in his eye anymore from when he made the first movies. And now he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to make this so that Anakin's a whiny little bitch and blah, blah, blah.
Whoever came up with the character Jar Jar needs to be tarred and feathered.
Jar Jar was supposed to
replace.
He was supposed to replace C-3PO as comic relief.
I understand what the intent was, but that's
supposed that they delete him from existence.
You can't. If you delete Jar Jar, how does Palpatine get the power?
Something that makes more sense.
You can find another Patsy. He needs to die. And whoever came up with him needs to die too.
Y'all are mean. I thought I was mean. I dislike Jar Jar, but not to the point where I want to kill him. Excuse me.
He's comic relief, but in an annoying way. There's better ways to do comic relief than a shitty alien.
How rude.
Misa think that Yusa like him more than Misa.
Here's another big problem I had with some of these folks that hated not only the prequels, but the sequels and some of the MCU, the death threats they're giving to the actors, which have nothing to do.
Bro, I think that's probably the thing that makes me the most upset, at least when it comes to like movies. Like, people get mad at actors for playing the role that they were given.
And reading the dialogue they were given.
Like, why are you not mad at the writers for writing crappy dialogue?
There's a reason.
There are some times that, like with Scarlett Johansson and her taking an Asian role, there was no reason for her to do that. She could have turned that down easily, but she didn't. Yes, that blame her for sure. But like, if you don't like the way a movie is going, 10 times out of 10, that's not the actor's fault.
Rose from the sequels. Yes. That was she almost committed suicide, I think, because of the hate she was getting. And that was just a role she was given and she was trying to play it. And she has done well in every other thing she's done.
Yeah. Just like Robert Pattinson after Twilight. Mm-hmm. Like, he's been perfectly fine. All his other movies have been perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. The director of Twilight was just garbage, and Stephanie Meyer's writing is also for 12-year-olds.
But you loved all the Twilights.
Yeah, when I was 12. I think if I watched those movies now, I'd probably have a heart attack. The best part of those movies is the fight scene in Breaking Dawn Part 2. And that didn't even actually happen in the books.
No, it wasn't it. It was still in it the same way, right? It was all a dream or whatever, but they didn't go in. They didn't expound on
vision.
it.
Yeah, it's like a vision that Alice sees, and because you only see Bella's point of view in Breaking Dawn, or Jacob, it's Bella or Jacob, you don't see it because you're not Alice. But in a movie, like, you can do whatever you want with that, and so they had it show her vision, which I thought was really dope. Which is why I think it's the best scene out of 5 movies. Because it's not something directly from the books.
But I don't understand his point. So he says he doesn't like the MCU because it's not true to form with the comic books. Right?
Okay. He said Thor has become Seinfeld, and I'm like, no, he has not. Because of Ragnarok. He hated Ragnarok because it was too much comedy. And I'm like, it was a mix of drama and comedy, and not only that, he more than made up for it.
Literally exploded, and the movie ended with almost a death. Like what?
Well, not only that, but it led to Infinity War, where he was not joking around the whole movie. He had a couple. He was like, "Oh, he's got too many one-liners." I'm like, everybody in the movie's got one-liners. Everybody's got like side one-liners.
Also, does he not hate Tony Stark? Have you met Tony Stark?
First of all, Tony was not a comedian in the comic books. It's just what Robert Downey Jr. did with the role. The same thing with
freaking love it because it
exactly,
makes sense.
And that's what brought the crowds in. It was not only a properly done Iron Man and a properly done Tony, but then you also had all the other factors that were working for it. Hulk, I think they could have did better, especially by the time they got to Endgame. By Endgame, I think everybody was like, Professor Hulk was just a horrible thing to do. That was just, it wasn't horrible to do. It was a horrible interaction of how they did it or went about doing it.
Yeah, there was no reason for him to be stuck halfway in Hulk form. That makes no sense.
Well, in the comic books, he did learn how to control it, and they did become one. They did become one for a little while, but eventually Hulk took over. Right. Eventually Hulk took over and they were separate things again. Like he was Banner and there was Hulk whenever he got mad. But the Professor Hulk was not this sitting around eating pancake guy taking autographs. He was a badass.
I'm about to say he was that dude. He was that dude in the comics.
Yeah.
Although I have to admit, Chubby Thor is hilarious.
Yes, Chubby Thor was hilarious.
Hilarious. Thor with a gut.
Now there's where I would agree with Chris. That irked my last damn nerves.
Well, you gotta see, but let's think about this. Your father just died. You saw your father died. You found out you had a sister you didn't know about. You had to kill her or get her killed. Your brother just died in front of your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
He literally went through a
literally messed up saving the world and just saw half of the universe disappear, and you know it's on you. And then the only thing you can do is go chop off Thanos' head, but it's a little bit too late. At that point, 5 years later, you're in the sauce.
Yeah, like I'm surprised he didn't look worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because when people get in slumps, they can really let themselves
depression ain't no joking. Just because you're an Asgardian doesn't mean you don't get depression.
Yeah.
that doesn't. As we see with Loki, that's just not the case. That being said, let's get back to the subject at hand, which is Loki episodes 3 and 4. 4 being a huge mind bender at the end.
I will give it to Kevin Feige. This man, in this show particularly, loves to just drop bombs as casual one-liners and then just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, okay, that didn't just change the entirety of this show, but all right, let's just keep going, right? Yeah, okay.
So I wrote down some stuff because I'm trying to actually be professional about this, keep notes and stuff. So one thing, and just so everyone knows, We're about 15 minutes in. This is spoilers. We're not going to. So if you have not seen Loki episode 3, episode 4, do not continue listening to us because we are going to be talking about spoilers. Press pause, go watch them, and then come back. Or, I don't know, press and drag and do a hula. I don't know. But you have been warned. So the first thing was Hunter C20, finding out the truth. And I do like that Sylvie's powers isn't I'm creating an enchantment. No, all I'm doing is taking what you have and showing you what you have and making you live in the moment. Yes, sir.
Weak minds, she can just control. Stronger minds, she has to use a memory of yours and manipulate that memory. And that's how C20 got unlocked. Proceed.
Yes, also, it was good confirmation that she's not Enchantress. We got that in episode 4. No, we literally got that in episode 4.
But you have to remember that Enchantress, at least the second Enchantress, not the one from Asgard, which is Amora, the second Enchantress, which is Sylvie, was given her powers by Loki. Loki gave her powers for her to do when she took Amora's name, and Amora actually did kill her for taking her name.
There can only be one me.
So, but she was a young Avenger. So she was on the Young Avengers and was with actually Scarlet Witch's kids and Vision's kids, you know, protecting the world. So we open up and we see what Hunter C20 saw, which is, you know, her life on Earth. So I got a question. If all the TVAs are variants, why are they all from Earth? Are you telling me there's no other variants in Earth? Do we just create variants? Is that all the Earth does?
But see, no one said specifically that all the variants were from Earth.
Yeah.
Everybody on... You telling me all those... You don't think all of them are Earthlings? There's no... It doesn't seem that anybody's an alien. It
probably depends on who actually created the TVA.
Yes, this is true.
Because they could not be in the whole galaxy. They could just be on the moon.
Oh, well, duh. Loki's Asgardian, so he's not from... But he's not on the TVA.
Yeah.
And
but even that's still within the 9 realms and not like a totally different planet.
Right. And Sylvie almost got to the Timekeepers in episode 3. And what possessed her to use Loki as a hostage? Like, they've been chasing me, trying to prune me. They made me work for them. What makes you think they're going to keep me safe? There was a lot of misstep logic in this. Mobius really made me rock in the corner in the 4th episode because he just did something that was just... I'm sitting there like, dude, how do you not know you're going to get caught? Like, come on.
Like, yes. Obviously, steal something from the office.
Mm-hmm. Nobody will notice.
No. Steal her personal little computer.
It wasn't like he did a Fast and the Furious and copied it or a Mission Impossible. No, he took the whole freaking data pad
and switched it with his, thinking, she's not going to open this today. Nah.
So they're looking for... So Loki and Sylvie escaped, but he went to the worst possible... Trying to save them, he went to the worst possible apocalypse there was.
Horrible.
Just horrible, where a planet's exploding. Once again, the 1%. Hail to the 1%, because once again, they get their way. So while the poor people are begging to get on a train to get to the city that has the last spaceship, all the rich people have passes that get them on the ship.
So, was there only one ship? Was that the only ship, or was that the last?
That was the last ship. I think it was the last shuttle. It was also, Chris was also talking about, they made Loki weak because he's getting beat up by humans. I'm like, they went to an alien world I'm not sure those were humans. You can't just assume they're humans just because they're humanoid. And not only that, they grew up.
No one knows that Jedi are actually human. They just look human. They're not from Earth.
No, they're not. So, and that one lady just blasted him. I think we need a life story of that one lady. And Loki tried to trick her, and she was like, "Man, my husband don't talk like that."
Right. Boom. But I'm sorry.
My husband has never been that nice to me. I was like, why did you marry him then?
We're not even gonna go there. That's how the old timers were.
Yeah, I'm sorry though. I'm sorry. Even though y'all thought that part was funny, which was funny. To me, when Sylvie kicked that door down and flew 20 feet, I almost peed.
Oh yeah, she went first. And then Loki was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll use deception to do it."
Door down and not expect them to react.
So there was before the fourth episode came out, there was stories on Reddit that everybody, and it kind of made sense. Loki was acting out of character on that train, and Sylvie had fallen asleep. And if you recall, Sylvie said the best way for her to get into someone's mind is to wait for them to fall asleep. So everybody was like, what if what happened on the train and what led up to the end of the episode was just Loki enchanting her? Of course, we now know that's not the case with episode 4, but what if that's what was going on in episode 3? That it was all enchantment because Loki was partying with these people, calling attention to himself.
Drunk.
Did a Thor line, which I loved. Another.
That was funny. That was hilarious.
He caused a lot. He brought a lot of attention to himself that I don't think he normally
caused a ruckus.
Yeah, he normally doesn't do stuff like that. So that was a little bit out of character for me, and I think that's why a lot of people were like, "Well, how do we know it's this? He didn't enchant her, and she's just not paying attention," you know.
Or he could have a hedonistic lifestyle, which is what he said he was, and he was drinking and enjoying excess. Why can't it just be something?
But why would you do it? Why would you do it then, though? Let's think about that.
Because liquor, they're free liquor. How many people have went to an open bar and just be like, okay, if this wasn't the time for you to be standing on your head and doing the Watusi. Come on, man.
The world is ending. If you don't get to this location, without alerting the authorities, there's a good chance you could either end up dead or stuck on that planet. So, to Sylvie's effect, why bring attention to yourself?
Because I think in episode 3 he was falling for Sylvie, and this man doesn't know what love is. He didn't know how to handle it.
Oh, so that's still a little weird.
Go get drunk.
That's still a little weird. Why do they write this like he's falling for himself? I don't like it. That part I don't like.
But is it real? That's why I keep saying, is Sylvie really a Loki? She doesn't go by Loki's name. She doesn't like being called Loki. She says, I'm Sylvie. And my other question was, which Ravana really pissed me off, but I know she did it on purpose. What was Sylvie's crime against the sacred timeline?
Yeah. Freaking, oh my God, it made me so mad. It's like, oh yeah, I don't remember. I was like, I will slap the taste out your mouth.
So the TVA is just going through history, grabbing kids to stop whatever's going on.
I'm wondering if she was supposed to turn into an agent.
Possibly.
I have a bigger question.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all glanced over the fact that Christina, who is in love with Tom Hiddleston, doesn't like him falling in love with herself. That was adorable to me.
That was a top-level narcissist move, though. If you think about it, who are the only people that narcissists can actually love? Who are the only ones they actually love? Themselves. Yeah. So who could he fall in love with but a parallel version of himself?
Hey, man, I just saw the effect on Christina and thought it was adorable.
And it's also like no one else has really understood him like the way she does.
But does she really understand him, or does she, or is it more of just a mutual?
I mean, she didn't grow up as an Asgardian, so probably not.
No, because she was an Asgardian until she was like 8. Is it possible that her crime was that she was so well adjusted because maybe Frigga and Odin actually told her she was adopted, that she was not going to be going against Thor and them because she knew already. It wasn't like, Loki found out when he was like 30 that he was adopted.
Which is like 400 years or so.
Yes. Yeah, well, more than that. Like 2,000 years of being by these people's sides, and it's bad enough he's been in Thor's shadow, and now he knows why he's been in his shadow. It's because, so I was in his shadow because I'm not their child. Living in the shadow of a person I'll never live up to because that's your kid. And maybe Loki, was going to end up becoming, the female Loki was going to end up becoming Thor's bride, whatever, because, she's a frost giant anyway. From Niflheim or wherever. I can't remember the name of the world.
Jotunheim. Yeah,
Jotunheim. So they would end up having a queen of Asgard that's also a Jotunheim and also, Asgard, raised by Asgardians. So, or was it the fact that she was the first Loki born as a woman?
I think she was too well adjusted and was going to mess up the timeline.
Yeah, because what does Mobius say in the first episode? Your job is to bring out the best in people. That's your glorious
I don't get why
purpose.
she couldn't do that just by being herself.
Because she wasn't going to be the true queen of mischief.
No.
Yeah.
Or, well, like I said, the other thing could be that she was a female Loki, and they're all supposed to be male.
But it took them that long to grab her? That makes no sense.
Yeah, this is true.
Like, how they didn't have to go searching for her. They could have just grabbed her from birth.
So we talked about Hunter C-20, R.I.P. So where was Hunter B-15 actually happy at? Where did they snatch her from, do y'all think? We know she's probably from Earth or some world. But where was she? Because she said, I looked happy.
On the dance floor, dropping it like it's hot.
Maybe she had family and she was with her family.
Maybe she was with her family. That's what I think.
And again, what did she do wrong that they had to snatch her up?
What did any of them do wrong? Or does the TVA or whoever runs this TVA go around just snatching kids
or adults?
Snatch kids.
No, snatch kids or young adults to
erase their memories.
No, to make this army.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what they are. Most of them are fighters. All of them are fighters, actually.
And poor Loki with the whole Sif thing. That was hilarious. Trapped in that memory with Sif.
Poor baby.
I don't know how many times, how many ball shots. I don't know how many ball shots he took, but good Lord. He should have been coughing blood.
At one point, she didn't hit him. Like the last time where she didn't hit him. It was still just like, you'll still always be alone. It's like, what? Why?
Because this is you got to think about how many years she's been putting up with Loki's crap.
Yeah, I guess. You just having a little fun. Leave him alone.
He cut off her hair. You don't know how many times he turned Thor into a frog at one point.
That's funny.
So Christina love Tom Hiddleston. Good.
So is the question? So the question I have is so we know that the timekeepers are androids. Is that why the little person asks, if you are
if you're a robot,
yeah,
or if you're an android, that would make sense.
Other androids would know other androids, right?
Here come the big three again: androids, aliens, and wizards.
This is true.
But there's somebody powering these androids. Now we got to find out who actually.
Well, how about the fact that androids laughed at their ass?
Wizard?
How about the fact that androids laughed at them?
They did, which I thought was insane. Like, oh yes, one of us just died. Let's just chuckle it off. Like that was crazy.
Well, the guy, whoever's running him, the guy or gal, whoever's running him, is sitting back like, "Ooh, you killed one of my androids." Ooh.
Like you cut off a piece of my hair or something.
Mm-hmm.
He'll just build 3 more androids and replace it.
And poor Mobius, all he wants is a jet ski.
You want to know where I'd go back to? My original life. Baby, I had a jet ski. I was like, oh, my heart.
How many times do you think his memory's been erased?
Dozens.
Yes.
Dozens,
yeah.
Because think about it. Ravana said that these all came from my favorite agent. So it's possible that through the years, he has figured out
multiple times.
Yep, that he was, and we know pruning does not kill them now. So pruning sends them to wherever they are, and then they probably get their memory erased or they get indoctrinated back to the TVA.
I'm wondering where pruning, like he says, am I dead?
Mm-hmm. Am I in hell?
And then when he looked up and saw all the other, I don't know, misfit Lokis, and then one of them had a Thor hammer, and I was like, there's a Thor Loki?
Yes, that's boastful Loki. And for those that don't know, let me see if I got it. Share. That's them. So on the left, dark-skinned Loki is boastful Loki. On the right is classic Loki, which is the original Loki outfit, which we're all used to, seeing him in, which is being worn by Richard E. Grant, who is an awesome actor who usually plays an asshole in every role he's been in. He was the guy that killed. He was the vice admiral in the last Star Wars movie.
Oh,
yeah,
got it.
Then we got Kid Loki and Alligator Loki. I don't know if y'all saw Alligator Loki.
I did see Alligator Loki.
I saw it. I just was wondering why he was holding an alligator.
It's Alligator Loki. Whatever world this Loki came from, he turned himself into an alligator and probably never turned back. So he's a variant. And yes, that is probably a version of Thor's hammer because he was worthy. So
it looks like a dystopian world. So I'm assuming it's just another reality.
This is Avengers Tower right there, right? So this is New York.
So I'm assuming it's just another reality.
Or a place where the Lokis won. They beat the Avengers. And that's not part of the sacred timeline, right?
But even them beating the Avengers was like him being controlled by Thanos.
Was he being controlled by Thanos, or was he acting on his own, trying to be,
It would involve Thanos for sure.
And my God, the time for exposition is not when you're not sure all the big bads are down.
Let me just try and confess my feelings right quick. I know this is...
My God, that is a classic. How old is that trope?
Oh,
the big passionate speech?
Old. During the most inopportune time.
Old.
But you know what? I tell you, though.
It's like the bad guy speech before the big fight.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you, I know it's old. I get it. But when she grabbed Loki's hand in episode 3 and they thought they were going to die and all that.
You mean the beginning of episode 4?
Beginning of episode 4, she's holding his hand.
And they created the biggest branch they've ever seen before in their life.
Because I guess they're not supposed to touch ever.
Right.
No, I don't think it was supposed to touch. It was that they generally had feelings for each other.
And
probably a combination of both, honestly.
I think it's all of the above. And I think that created the biggest branch ever. And when she grabbed his hand, I said, "Oh yeah, he's done."
But she touched him on that world before, Christina. Mm-hmm. She touched him before he went to the TVA. Touching him did not do anything. She touched him trying to.
It was after that whole adventure, and they were genuinely developing.
Right. So that's what I was saying. It's a whole feeling.
Yeah, but touching and punching somebody is different than touching and looking in their eyes.
But she touched him when they were on the train trying to control him, remember? It wasn't on the train when they first got to that world.
But there was no feeling. I think it's a combo of touch and feelings.
I think it's more the feelings, but
touching you.
Don't ever do that again. That's not
Sweet
gonna help you.
Caroline. Ba, ba, ba.
no. So we know pruning doesn't delete you. At least it doesn't delete Loki's. We don't know where Mobius ended up from the pruning.
You know what? Okay, time out.
Mm-hmm.
When Mobius got pruned,
Mm-hmm.
and Loki straight up started to lose it, I said, "See,
Ravonna started to lose it, and it's
Bro.
not like she doesn't know. So is it the fact that she doesn't know that he comes back, or is it just painful every time it happens?
I'm really assuming she doesn't. I'm assuming that none of them know. I'm assuming that every single one in the TVA thinks that pruning is like literally a death sentence.
I think so. I think they all think that because I'm gonna tell you this: when Mobius got pruned, Loki bought it. I was like, oh, look at that.
And so did Ravonna.
Yeah,
so there's no reason for her to think that it's something else. And it wasn't like a Nick Fury type thing where, he's dead. JK, he's actually died. Like, no, she legit thought he was dead.
Right.
And remember, we still haven't seen President Loki, so I'm pretty sure President Loki is on that dystopian world. We'll probably see him in episode 5 because there's only 2 episodes left.
Stop it! I don't want to hear that.
So all in all, last 2 episodes, episode 4 definitely turned everything on its heel. I don't think anybody was expecting Loki to get pruned. But as soon as he did, I was like, okay, so y'all just verified that he's going. That even before the cutscene, I was like, he's not dead. You can't.
Oh
no, you can't.
I screamed again though, like how I screamed when Thanos freaking snapped his neck. I screamed again. Like I saw the gold and I was like, ah!
Again. How are you not paying attention to your surroundings? How do you not know that chick is not knocked out? For real. Like, you just... I don't get it. So, Nate, what's your thoughts?
How come when Sylvie beat the judge, how come Sylvie didn't prune her?
Because she didn't want to prune anybody. She didn't prune anybody, did she?
But
she killed people.
She probably wanted information.
Mm-hmm. Especially after she took old boy's head. She was like, oh, wait a minute now.
I also think it's going to be interesting because Ravonna was like, oh, protect the timekeepers. So how much does Ravonna actually know?
I don't know. I'm wondering if Kang's going to show up and be the person running the
real
TVA.
bad boy. The real bad.
He's not supposed to show up until Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantonium. So is it possible? Because there was I don't know if you guys saw that in Ant-Man and the Wasp when she was just because the question is how did the Wasp survive in the quantum zone? Is it possible that the TVA is sitting inside the quantum zone? Because there was a city that he saw in there when he went in there to get her. Is that the TVA?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are floating that idea around.
Especially since the quantum zone exists outside of time.
Yeah. There's a lot of people floating that idea around.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. So Nate, what's your final thoughts or what's your thoughts of the last 2 episodes?
I enjoyed number 4. I really enjoyed the emotional pulling of the strings. They got me twice in that thing. They got me twice. When Mobius got pruned, I thought he was dead. Mm-hmm. And then that hurt me because Mobius had finally figured out that he had been duped and played. And when he finally figured it out, now he's gone. But then the effect on Sylvie when Loki got pruned, that got me too. I said, damn, this is pretty damn good. It got me.
Freaking Ravonna just smirking, jerk.
I know. So
well, she wasn't smirking when Mobius got killed. She doesn't care about the variants. She doesn't care if she's a variant. It doesn't seem. She doesn't care.
And so yeah, she looked hurt when Mobius got pruned. She did look hurt, but I think she knew it was necessary, which is what she did with. Is it C-20?
Yeah, she purged her, pruned her.
Oh, she got pruned and had. When she was like, I had a life. Time for you to go.
Turn off the recording.
Christina, your thoughts?
I think it's great. I think it's causing chaos as Loki does. The end of episode 4 definitely threw everyone for a loop. And it also confirms the multiverse series theory as well, because those are Lokis from all different realities, and they're all in the same vicinity now. So it just confirms that there's multiple things that can be happening at the same time in different versions of everyone. So that's cool.
Yeah, but the beginning of this whole thing, they were talking about there's only the sacred timeline. So that means they destroyed all the other multiverses, supposedly. So this is where everybody else ends up, is where the Lokis are when they destroyed all the multiverses?
Oh, God.
Or is that where the multiverses, like the final battle took place and they're all just stuck there and can't get out?
I guess we'll find out next episode.
Maybe not.
Yeah, that's also true.
But,
yeah, I think it's great. He said episodes 4 and 5, so we'll see what episode 5 brings.
Yeah, because they said 5 is going to flip it on its head. 4 was already going to flip it a little bit, and then they said 5 was going to even make it even worse.
So excited!
So, yeah, all in all, I think the last 2 episodes have been great. It's been pretty interesting. Good TV, I would say, although the numbers have dropped on Loki since the first episode, and I think that's because it's a lot more exposition on here than Falcon and Winter Soldier was a lot of action.
Yeah.
WandaVision was
a lot of magic.
Yeah, WandaVision was just weird. No, it was quirky.
Yeah,
and that's what pulled everybody in. Yeah. Loki is more, well, this is going on here and blah 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 blah. It's not Tenet, but I don't think it's. I don't know if it's grabbing people's attention as well as they thought it would. But I think it's keeping a lot of people on.
Come on now, WandaVision had a catchy song. It was Agatha all along. Do 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 do. Come on, man! I still play that song. I'll be driving in the car and say, "I need the Agatha song."
So I think where we're going to end up after this is the TVA is going to be destroyed. We still don't know what those bombs that Sylvie set off did, other than cause the TVA to split out into different directions, and maybe that's what she did that to attack the timekeepers.
It doesn't seem like anything happened with that.
But
that's because the agents went and stopped it.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, when we went back to the timeline was fine. There wasn't anything crazy going on.
Did you notice that I had predicted? See, people forgot that. I predicted she did all that so she could attack the timekeepers.
Yes, you did. Very good. Very good call. Didn't end up getting close until the 4th episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, all right. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us that did join us live, and those that will be listening to us on Spotify and iTunes and all that. We'll be back next week discussing episode 5. Actually, oh crap. Yeah, we're going to have to discuss that because I have things going on that evening. So we might have to be Saturday and not Friday.
Saturday's cool.
Well, it depends on Christina's schedule, doesn't it?
I have next Saturday off.
Okay, well then we're good. We're good. Because this house will be a little personless.
My baby. Where's she going?
Where's she going?
With your other babies in Chicago.
So cute. So cute. All Also, if you want to send her on her way here, you can do that.
Yeah, you say that now until she gets there. And then you're like, oh my God.
But then again, I also work a lot. So
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Never
All right. I want to thank everyone for joining us. Big Nate, any shout outs? Anything? Wait, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Christina, you go first. Big Nate will go last because we know what's coming up for Big Nate. Christina, any shout outs or anything? I mean, you did have a wonderful thing that happened in Starbucks today.
Tell us about it.
I had my first celebrity encounter here in Los Angeles. And if it were to be anyone, I'm very happy that it was this person, considering what we're watching right now. Now, do I wish it was Tom Hiddleston? 100%, 1,000 yes. Sadly, it was not. It was someone involved with the MCU, though. It was a young Spider-Man himself. Showed up at my Starbucks today, and my entire store lost their minds. We were all silently freaking out. We tried not to make it obvious. We tried not to bother him or make it be like, oh my God, we know it's you. But yeah, Tom Hiddleston, Tom Holland showed up at my Starbucks and sat in my lobby, and I lost my mind. As he was leaving, I said, have a good day. And he said, thanks, you too. And I lost my
Did he use his proper accent or did he use his Peter Parker?
Oh, no, he used his proper, he was accent and everything. And I was like, more! So yeah, I had a great time. He was adorable.
And for those that don't know, he is British, I think.
Yeah, he's British.
Yeah, he's British.
Also, he's dating Zendaya. I think that was confirmed today.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
you mean he's dating Lola Bunny?
They got caught in his car.
Oh my!
Making out in his car at a stoplight, and I was like, because they've been walking around it and not confirming nor denying. Now, granted, I'm not gonna believe it until either one of them confirms it.
Mm-hmm. She is a vegan, so he might have to change his lifestyle.
Oh my God. But yeah, I saw Tom Holland today. He was adorable. It was also just really weird, seeing someone.
I find it funny. He's the same age as you, but he plays a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah. Older people play younger all the time. That's not what's up. It's more like seeing someone my age who's a household name.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a weird concept to me. But yeah, that was cool. Life's good. Got promoted. That's great. Making more money. Yeah.
That's a congratulations to you. But that's it. So, any other shout outs you got other than to Spidey Man?
I mean, Tom Holland, if you watch this, dope. If you felt comfortable enough in my Starbucks because we didn't bother you, please feel free to come back. I promise we won't bother you again. We might finally freak out again, but please feel free to return.
You freaked out to yourself, so that was fine.
Yeah. It was a good time. It was a good time.
All right. Only shout outs I have is every now and then I do game a lot actually. Sometimes I do stream. I haven't streamed in a while, but you can usually catch me on Twitch under Draconos banner. Last time I think, and I've been playing Ark, and now we just get to see all the damn dogs on the screen.
Doggos.
Now, Big Nate, what you got for us?
The fellas came to say hello.
Uh-huh.
Jack's in. Come here,
good Lord.
Oh my God, red eyes. Wow, I didn't know that.
They're blue. They're red on the computer.
Oh.
Everybody
Big Nate, what you got?
Fish.
What you got for us?
Oh, I've got so much stuff I don't know what to tell you. First and foremost of all, the old school drive from 1 to 5 with me, Big Nate, is going down this 4th of July. Shut the front door. I'm going to be with you while you're flipping them burgers.
And I did buy some burgers to flip.
Oh, yes.
I actually bought some ribeyes, too.
Ooh. Ooh.
You want to mail something this way?
For real. So I will be there for all of your musical needs. So then on that, all right, now I got to flip to the managing attorney. I just left the Supreme Court of the state of New Mexico doing work to create diversity in the system.
Woo!
My father,
Hercules.
I literally was like, Dad, I hope I made you proud. As a man who marched with King, and that's all he did was try to, get work on truly a freedom fighter, fighting for the rights of all. I was like, Dad, I hope I made you proud. So it's been a great week for me. I'm exhausted. I've got Boys and Girls Club stuff up the wazoo. The basketball starts this Thursday. Big Nate is tired. So after this show is over with, I'm going to cocoon myself in a cover, and I'll see y'all Saturday afternoon.
As you should.
Again, I want to thank everybody for joining. We'll be back next week. This show will be going up on Sunday night at 1 a.m. Eastern onto your favorite podcasting platforms. And again, I want to thank you all for your support. And we will see you all next week.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye.